Have you ever been the quietest person in a room full of noise? Not because you had nothing to say, but because you were busy seeing everything? You're the one who notices the subtle shift in a friend's voice when they're lying, or the micro expression of a boss who is about to deliver bad news. While others are performing for attention, you are sitting back, observing, and processing data that everyone else is missing. Society has a habit of calling people like us shy, introverted, or even cold. But they have it backward. That silence isn't a lack of confidence, it is a shield. It is a high-level psychological defense mechanism born from a history of having to endure life silently. If you spent your life feeling like an outsider, because you don't feel the need to fill the air with empty words, I want you to listen closely. Today, we are decoding the silent strength of those who grew up as the invisible child. We are going to explore why your traumatic intelligence isn't a burden. It's a rare gift that makes you society's biggest threat. Welcome back to Mind Decode. Here, we don't just talk about psychology, we break down the real, hidden wiring behind the behaviors that make you feel different. If you were the child who had to grow up too fast, or the black sheep who learned early on that safety was found in silence, you found your community. Today's deep dive is about the invisible trauma. This isn't just about the things that happened to you, it's about the incredible ways your brain adapted to survive them. We're going to look at the 7 rare emotional gifts you developed while you were enduring life silently. We're moving fast today because your time is valuable, so let's jump straight into the core of why your silence is actually your greatest power. The first gift you developed as an invisible child is Hyper-Observant Intuition. Because you were often overlooked or had to survive alone, you couldn't afford to be oblivious. You had to become an expert at reading the energy of the people around you, just to know if you were safe. Now, as an adult, this has turned into a rare trait, where you can sense when someone doesn't like you, even when they're being perfectly nice. You see the hidden intentions behind a gift, or the manipulative humor used by someone trying to assert dominance. You aren't being paranoid, you are simply high resolution. While most people are listening to what is being said, you are watching what is being done. You possess a truth-sensing radar that makes it nearly impossible for fake friends to get close to you. This isn't just observation, it's a form of traumatic intelligence that allows you to see the world as it actually is, not how people pretend it is. The second gift is radical independence. If you were the child who had to raise yourself because the adults were too distracted or unreliable, you learned very early on that if you wanted something done, you had to do it yourself. You didn't have the luxury of asking for help, because help usually came with strings attached, or it didn't come at all. Today, this translates into a high mindset, where you don't need anyone to feel valid. One of the rarest signs of intelligence is the ability to sit alone with no phone, no noise, and no distractions, and still feel mentally stimulated. While others are chasing social events just to feel wanted, you are perfectly fine staying at home, working on your own projects. This makes you dangerous to the status quo, because you cannot be threatened with exclusion. You've been your own anchor since you were 6 years old, and that gives you a level of rare autonomy that most people spend their whole lives trying to find. Number 3 is the gift of strategic silence. Society tells you that if you are talking, you are participating. But psychology says you should actually fear the quietest person in the room. Why? Because silence is where power is stored. When you stay quiet, you are collecting data while everyone else is giving it away. As someone who has endured a lot, you've learned that you don't owe anyone an explanation for who you are or what you're doing. You've developed the ability to stay calm even in heated arguments, which is a sign of high emotional intelligence. Your silence isn't a lack of ideas, it's a choice. You use it as fuel to recharge, while others use noise to mask their anxiety. By being hard to read, you protect your peace and force toxic people to eventually disappear, because they can't find a way to manipulate a target they don't understand. The fourth gift is high-resolution relational memory. Because you've survived a lot, your brain doesn't just forget when its boundaries are crossed. You have developed a rare emotional strategy. You forgive for your own peace, but you never forget the data of how someone treated you. This isn't bitterness, it's survival intelligence. You categorized that fake friend behavior months ago, which is why you can cut people off silently without needing closure. You aren't interested in second chances for people who have proven they don't prioritize you. This gift ensures that your inner circle stays high quality. You'd rather have one real friend than 1,000 acquaintances who only know your surface. You've traded social breadth for relational depth, and that is a hallmark of a rare mind. Number 5 is emotional self-regulation. Many children who grew up too fast didn't have parents who comforted them when they cried. Instead, you had to learn the psychology of people who comfort themselves. You became your own therapist, your own protector, and your own best friend. Now, as an adult, you have a rare kind of strength where you don't look for external saving. You can handle your own catastrophes at 3 a.m. without waking anyone else up. While others are too available and constantly drained by the needs of others, you've built a system of emotional safety that allows you to stay grounded. You know how to protect your peace without cutting everyone off, because you know where your own edges are. This resilience is a rare gift that makes you incredibly attractive to healthy people and completely invisible to those who are looking for someone to fix. The 6th gift is intellectual depth. When you are the invisible child, you spend a lot of time in your own head. You likely have a graveyard of unfinished projects or too many interests because your brain is constantly seeking the stimulation you weren't getting from your environment. This is your polymath advantage. While society tells you to be a master of one, your traumatic intelligence has wired you for an M-shaped future where you can connect dots across multiple fields. You are a deep thinker who doesn't just see problems, you see the historical and psychological roots behind them. Your overthinking isn't a flaw, it's a sign that you are processing the world at a higher resolution than those who only look at the surface. You've turned your isolation into a laboratory for your own genius. Finally, the 7th and most important stage is reclaiming your voice. For years, your silence was a survival strategy. It kept you safe. But now, you are realizing that the very things society calls your flaws, your quietness, your selective friendships, and your hyper-independence are actually your greatest strengths. Reclaiming your voice doesn't mean you have to start shouting. It means you stop apologizing for your silent strength. It means you recognize that once you realize nobody cares, you win. Because you are no longer performing for a crowd that was never really looking anyway. You are moving from being invisible to being intentional. You are no longer the child who is hidden. You are the adult who is protected. You possess the rarest kind of strength because you have seen the worst of human behavior and decided to stay kind, stay deep, and stay true to yourself anyway. If you spent your childhood feeling like a ghost, I want you to know that the world needs your vision now more than ever. You are quiet because you're weak. You're quiet because you are strategic. If this video helped you decode your own history, let me know in the comments. Which of these 7 gifts did you develop as a child? I read every single comment because Mind Decode is a circle for the deep thinkers and the survivors like you. If you want to keep exploring the hidden psychology behind your weird habits, like why you replay the same song or why you hate being told what to do, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are doing these long-form deep dives because you deserve more than a 2-minute answer. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.